Понял, под моим управлением. Наблюдаю у вас 292 на 94.
Hello guys, once again it's Matt, and today we're going to check it out and do a video on how to use the navigation systems of the MiG-29. Basically you can use this to the Sukhoi 27 as well in DCS. We're going to turn on the engines and close the canopy. So we are here in Bandar Abbas International, as I'm going to show you guys. We have a flight path to follow from Bandar Abbas International to Kasab to Qasm Island and back to Bandar Abbas International. So we're going to check it out and tell you guys how to do it, okay? So the MiG-29, for example, has a very cool type of inertial navigation systems. One of the navigation systems very widely used in the 80s, even civil aviation a little bit later. So yeah, it's a pretty good system. It has some drawbacks, but of course it's like a GPS, but you don't have the data from the satellite basically. So yeah, first thing first, if I'm not mistaken, we need to wait 3 minutes after the engine started so that we can align the INS. Of course, every aircraft that has a inertial system have this problem. But in Flaming Cliffs you don't have to click anything, you just have to wait the 3 minutes after you turn everything on, okay? So yeah, let's turn on the lights. So the buttons that you will need is the navigation mode, of course. I use the keyboard for that. And of course the waypoints. So next waypoint and previous waypoint, okay? So we are going to wait, and as soon as I'm ready, I'll be back. So yeah, as you see, normally when you are in the editor, you're going to need to perform this type of configuration. So of course to the INS to work in these Flaming Cliffs aircraft like the Mirage 2000, for example, you can do this in the cockpit, but in the Flaming Cliffs you have to do this. So of course we are going to do near Kasab, then near Qasm Island, and return to Bandar Abbas. And then you're going to click this turning point. So you're going to click on add, and you're going to add each one of them, and of course being the turning point. And you can even put the altitude, for example, click edit over here to waypoint 1, for example, and I want to pass at 8,000, for example, at, I don't know, 900 kilometers per hour. And on Qasm Island I want to pass at 5,000 at 800. The system of the aircraft will perform everything that you need, okay? And of course the last one that you have to create is to land. We're going to make this at 2,000, this at 1,000. I have to be careful with the, let's try, come on, let's try doing this actually because of the mountains, but yeah, 1,000. And then let's add the last one to actually land, okay? So all the time that you are going to do a mission or something, Flaming Cliffs, you have to do this. If not, you won't have the position of each waypoint, okay? So I don't know exactly how you know if the INS is aligned. I tried to search everything, but it's just not in any manual that I found. So if you know, leave it in the comments. Make sure to subscribe as well. And the 3 minutes have passed, so of course let's take off first. But first of all, you're going to use the navigation modes. You're going to click, for example, 1 here, and then you're going to have 3 modes. So you can count as 4. the normal mode that doesn't show anything about navigation, the en route mode, the return mode, and the landing mode. So the en route is the normal one that you're going to use trying to go places. The return is to return to the airfield that you were going to go. The landing, of course, being the ILS, for example, but any type of landing system. So normally you're going to use the en route to get to the place. When you're trying to return, you can use as well the en route, and after that, nearby the airfield that you're going to land, you use return, and then landing. Automatically they probably will change if you fly directly to the path. Okay, so let's try to take off, and I see you guys on the skies. So we are approaching the runway, so landing lights are on.
Ready. Climb 300 at QFE 759.63.
Okay, gear up, landing light off, flaps up. Okay, so first of all, of course, we are going to click the one button again, and then as you see on the right side there, we have this type of, let's pause it here just to show you guys. On the top left we have the speed of the aircraft, of course, and what speed the waypoint that you put in the editor is showing you. On the right side on the top you have the altitude, now showing the R on the side of the altitude, showing that you're using the radar altimeter. On top of that you have the altitude that you should be on the waypoint. On the downside, the bottom side on the left, you have the en route showing that what type of navigation you're doing. In the middle, on the bottom, you have the distance, and on the right side of the bottom, you have the number of the waypoint that you are. Okay, and the circle is basically where you should be. Looking down over here, you can also try to. Sorry, what happened? Jesus. So you will have everything that you have on the HUD, but here as well. So on the top side on the left you're going to have the distance, on the right side the heading of the waypoint. Okay, so yeah, and of course the yellow arrow basically means where the waypoint is, and of course the doubled white arrow, it means where you should go to actually fly in the flight path. So I'm going to show a little bit more on that later, but basically you have to align both of them to be on the route that you want. Okay, so you can use either that or the HUD. If you lose the HUD, you can use the head down display or the HSI. Okay, so let's continue. So of course we're going to climb. Of course, as you see, we are at 8.0, which is the starting point. We're going to put at waypoint 1. So of course, as you see, we can see, let me trim it out a little bit. You see on the top the distance, the altitude that I'm supposed to be, so 8,000 meters that I put it on the editor, and the velocity that the waypoint was, so 700 and something. Okay, so the distance of course on the bottom, and the waypoint number. So you're going to, if you follow the circle, you will actually end up getting onto the flight path. But if you don't want to do that, you just look at the HSI and go to the yellow marker. Okay, if you do that, let me take off the afterburner. Okay, let's trim it out, continue the climb. Beautiful aircraft. But yeah, of course we have, let me pause it a little bit, but yeah, As you see, the yellow marker, if you go to the yellow marker, you're going to go to the waypoint. Normally I use the yellow marker, the yellow arrow instead of the little circle, because the little circle will make you enter the flight path plan, basically the line that you did in the editor, okay? But I don't want to do that. I just want to fly straight in to the waypoint that I did. So I just fly to the waypoint itself. But if I really want to fly, of course, in the waypoint, in the flight plan, as in the flight plan, I just follow the circle, or I just turn away from the two arrows down there and wait them to actually encounter the yellow arrow. So wait a little bit and we're going to get there. See, the circle is turning on the middle. Of course, he's saying that we should climb because we are at 6,000. But as you see, you just have to follow the circle or the two arrows. As you see right now, the two arrows are the yellow arrow is in the middle of the two white arrows. So if this is it, you are in the correct flight path, okay? So as you see, we still have the distance on the top and the heading of the waypoint, okay? Of course, we have also the ILS that I'm going to show a little bit later. So we are getting close to the waypoint 1, which is, let me pause it, which is of course Kassab. As you see, we are over Kassab right now. Of course, we cannot see it because we are above the clouds, but yeah, so very good navigation. So if you fly directly to the waypoint, you won't have any problems. As you're going to see, it changes automatically to the waypoint 2, but you can change it using the keyboards that I did before, okay? So I cannot use the waypoint 1 right now because I'm over it, but of course if you take a look, it changed it to the waypoint 2. The distance again, the altitude, it changed it for 5,000 meters, and the speed as well. Of course, the yellow marker as well changed. If you change it over here, of course it changes everything, you know? So just keep an eye out on that as well. So let's keep it on the 1.2 and let's get to the Kassam Island. Kassam, I don't know what's called. I don't know Persian or whatever. But yeah. As you see, you can use even the if you don't know where you are, you can use the Kneeboard to check where the waypoints are. So I use the K to open the Kneeboard and some other things to change the page, but just configure anything that you want. So yeah, pretty cool. So let's level it out at 5,000. As you see, a little bit more power. Of course, it's telling me to go a little bit slower because of the editor, but we don't need it. Of course, you don't have to follow the speed limits, but it helps sometimes if you put it in the editor to actually help you slow down gradually to land, of course. So yeah. So as you see, the circle is on the right, but the yellow marker is on 12 o'clock. So we are going to just pass right over the waypoint. It's going to change again to the waypoint 3. Yeah, as you see. So this is one of the features of the system. Of course, if you're liking this video, please subscribe and tell everything that you want to see in DCS, of course. So if you want to see some kind of system, or I mean, I try to use this system now because try to explain this system now because normally people don't know how to use it and just use the F10. map, but some servers don't have it, and I think it breaks a little bit of the immersion of the Flaming Cliffs. Of course, you already don't have a lot of stuff in Flaming Cliffs, so this is one of the cool features that we have. So the next waypoint is preparing for landing that I did before. It's waypoint 3. So we passed right over Kassam Airport over here. We are already turning. And we are going to try to land again on Bandar Abbas International Airport. So we're going to go to waypoint 3. But, of course, let's turn too much. And of course lower the altitude to 2000 meters. We have to be careful with the altitude because of the mountains nearby, but should be fine. Of course you can also use the return option. Of course it's going to leave you directly on the final approach of the Bandar Abbas airport, for example. But you can choose any airport that you want. I don't know which one is it, because you have like waypoints over here, but each one of these are an airport that you can land, okay? And of course landing, we are going to explain in a little bit. Let's use the en route waypoint 3 to get nearby the airport. Keep an eye out on the radar altimeter. Of course, orange marker there show that we don't have enough low altitude to actually show the altitude there, but once you get it working, it will show SDR right there, okay? Let's try to maintain 2000. It's our limit. I'm going to maintain a little bit more just to make sure. Let's trim it out. We can also, I mean, it's kind of a minimum altitude here, so we have to be careful. Of course, we are in IMC conditions. Altitude, we are 50 kilometers away, so we are kind of far away. Should have waited a little bit, but there's no need. Of course, I'm following right there, down there. I'm following in the bottom of the screen. I'm following the flight path without the circle. As I said before, I like to use this way. Of course, if you go to BVR, you're not gonna need that. You're not gonna have the information on the HUD, but you will still have the information down there. Okay, so just to you guys to know that you can use both systems at the same time. So 9 kilometers. We're getting nearby the waypoint. So 3 kilometers. I'm going to go to the return option. Of course, let's just see. We passed the Bandar Abbas to actually land. So we're going to turn now to the left and go to the return. There will be around here. It's not on the editor. And then the landing, okay? I'm so scared of the mountains that they're here in the nearby. It's so many of them that I don't know. But doesn't matter. Let's try to maintain and keep turning. Come on, aircraft, keep turning. Yeah, he's already saying that I should go to 320. Not gonna go that low, but I'm losing speed and lower the altitude. So let's open the air brake a little bit. So we are getting out of the clouds. Directly on the waypoint. So we are pretty okay. Just maintain the altitude. Don't get a lot of speed. A little bit to the right. Okay, so landing, of course, as you see, I'm going to pause a little bit. It changed it to landing automatically. Okay, the waypoint is 2 because this is the number 2 airport, and as you see right there, the airport as it is showing there. I made kind of a weird approach but it doesn't matter. I didn't remember the the runway heading, and my mistake. But if you have the runway heading, you can actually anticipate where you are coming from and just try to maintain that, okay? So yeah, let's get into the landing part. So yeah, the landing part, of course, we will have an ILS. We don't need the ILS because we are not in IMC conditions anymore. We're going to lose more speed. Let's try to go down a little bit more. Let's try to do this. I think the speed is fine. Let's gear down and flaps down. Of course, if you take down the lower the gear and the flaps, the air brake will shut down immediately, automatically. So a little bit more power, not too much. I always forget these aircraft are so amazingly fast and strong that, I mean, the ILS is not working probably because of the runway. Probably there is some because of the airport, I mean. So normally you will have a normal ILS in the middle there if you want to follow, or on the aircraft the HUD. Okay, if you want me to make a video on that, just leave it in the comments on how to use ILS. But it's a pretty common theme, so yeah, just showing more on the MiG right now. Okay, so yeah, let's get into the landing part. We are a little bit fast, but it's okay. As you see, the circle perfectly aligned, and we don't need that anymore. We are visual, so let's just use the circle to maintain the altitude. You can check on the top as well. Landing gear is down and locked. Flaps are down and landing light is on, I mean. So it's telling us that we should land at 250, so yeah, pretty good landing speed. Just maintaining a couple of kilometers more, just for the sake of it. You're losing speed gradually, so kind of a rough landing, but a safe one. So let's put the parachute out, as you see, and we are landed. So yeah, let's change to the normal mode again. So yeah, this is it, guys. I hope you found this useful. So yeah, a pretty easy and self-explanatory system. All the aircraft in game of Flaming Cliffs have this type of system, so you can use it even in the F-15 and stuff. It's just a little bit, each aircraft has a little bit of a different HUD and a little bit different HSI and stuff. So if you want to see more aircraft, just tell me in the comments and I will make another video on this. So yeah, we have the flaps up and of course taxi lights on instead of the landing lights. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Please subscribe and I see you guys on the next one. Make sure to put in the comments what else you want to see in DCS. Okay, so bye.